So, Roblox, huh? The platform where you can play endless games for free and are tricked by the ever-expanding torture that is microtransactions. But I never really found myself playing that much Roblox. The only thing I played was a classic Sonic simulator, but even then I haven't touched on that one in a year or so. But something has been brought to my attention recently, and that would be pet simulators. Or really just simulators in general. These things get super popular for some reason, probably because of how addicting they are. So today I wanted to take a look at some of them, the most popular ones, to see what all the fuss is about. And then at the end, I'll talk about a big problem that comes along with all this. If you're a longtime viewer, you know how my structure goes. So yeah, I selected 3 games of these pet simulators for this video, and unfortunately had to sit down and play through all of them. I have to use Robux, so I didn't get very far in any. I just used 3 to see if there's any difference between them, or if they were all just catching in on a trend. Guess which one it is. But without further ado, let's see what this first game is all about. Also, if I sound sick, it's because I am. Well, this is our first game. Adopt Me. Please do not clip that. So let's see what this game's all about. Okay, I just got done playing and boy do I have stuff to say. When I spawned in, the game told me some basic information, and I was able to choose how my avatar would look. I chose a try-hard face, a gold suit, a rainbow chain, another chain, and a crown to top it all off. I walked outside to see what I was supposed to do, so I followed this arrow to a character named Sir Wolfington. Yeah, the names in this game are weird. Anyway, I was given an egg with a graduation hat and walked around. I went over to check out some other stuff around here. I found this odd place with another character named Miles. Look, call me lazy, but I didn't bother with any of the dialogue in this game, so I didn't hear what he had to say. After that, I went to some pirate-themed place I saw. It looked a bit more interesting than some of the other places I saw. Also, I don't know how in the world a human swims with a stroller. Dang, I guess the suit really did help out. Nothing interesting happened there. I didn't bother remembering the guy's name, but something was brought to my attention there. Something very foul. This pet costs Robux? I didn't have any Robux. Yeah, that's right, I had none. So I wasn't able to get any other pets besides the one I started off with. Also, it was like over 100 something for that Nautilus pet, which I'm sure can't be cheap. Oh, never mind, I looked it up and it's less than $1. I was wrong, I guess. But that's just one pet. People who spend days of their lives playing this game are bound to spend much more, even if not, the price over time will add up. Anyway, I went into this Odyssey looking ship and found myself at some cove place. The moon and pale gray ocean creeped me out, but I do like the atmosphere in this game. The low poly models had a certain Roblox charm to it. Anyway, the rest of the time it was just me walking around aimlessly checking places. I wish this game had a better moveset. I know it's just the default moveset, but I've seen other games on this platform push the boundaries a bit more, and it would have been nice to see this game do that as well. Who knows? Maybe there is a speed increase with the cost of 50 bajillion Robux. So, my egg hatched and was now a stinky, deformed gray cat. It looks more like a mouse. Is that just me? I had to follow another arrow to my house, which took a grand total of 2 minutes. After that slog, I was able to not only clean my cat, but take a shower myself. I decided to end it there. I had only been playing for around 20 minutes, and I had another 2 whole games to play, and a video to make, so I thought I should end it there. So, what are my thoughts? Well, it wasn't nearly as bad of an experience as I thought it would be. It's definitely one of those games you have to play consecutively, and not one sitting like I did. Surprisingly though, there wasn't as much brain rot or in-your-face advertisement in this one. It was genuinely expecting this one to have the most out of the 3. If there is one major praise to give this game, is how charming it is. I don't know when it was made, like in what year, but it seems to be rather old. When researching it, I found it was kind of the classic pet simulator. It didn't even have the word simulator in its name, which is a plus. But yeah, a solid 6 out of 10 experience so far. Doing it for a video is a lot more fun than casually playing it. I have to admit that. Anyways, on to the next one. This next game I had to play was Pet Simulator 99, probably much more well known than the last one I played. At least I think, so I could be wrong. I'm not familiar with the fan base of any of these games. Anyway, this game was definitely not what I had in mind. It's incredibly simple and has a lot less personality than the last one we played. The main goal is to get the pets, but to also get coins and gems. You can use gems to buy stuff and use coins to unlock these giant blocking walls so you can go to the next area. But besides that, that it's practically a clicking simulator. I find myself clicking non-stop, and that is where the issue arises. I got addicted. What? How can this be? It's just a silly Roblox game, right? Well, yes. But there is more to it. You see, just clicking games like GD, Flappy Bird, or Cookie Clicker, they're all addicting on purpose. The game wants you to spend more time playing, so you have more of a chance to purchase something with Robux. Now, I'm not saying it's all for the money, and it's not always a scam. Some people just play these for fun with friends or are curious to see what all the buzz is about, like me. But you can't deny that this is the main objective when it comes to these things. There's probably an infinite amount of these simulators on Roblox, the majority being slop. This game isn't slop, but it has the clear in-your-face signs I was worried about. Bright colors, cute animals, all that jazz. Also, the UI in this game was much more in your face than the last game. It wasn't too bad or annoying, but noticeable. It seems like over the years, Roblox has built up a surplus of stock simulator assets. They look fine, but it makes the overall experience very bland. I'd rate this one a 4 out of 10. It's a game you get addicted to for a few days, and after taking a break, you come back and don't see the appeal anymore. It just kinda makes me wonder how this one in particular became so popular. Yeah, no, this game has plenty of pets to collect. Also, don't worry, this thumbnail was a parody / mock of the other Brainrot Roblox videos. If you thought I was switching to Brainrot content for views, then you have nothing to worry about. Just thought it would be fitting. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if this next game is any better. Who knows? It might be even the best one yet. But let's not get our hopes up too high. So this next and final game is Pet Simulator X. Before going into it, I thought it would be a carbon copy of 99, but as you'll soon see, that wasn't exactly the case. The first thing I did was chose a starter pet. I chose the cat and named it Empty. Don't ask me why. After that, I started collecting gold, but it was a process of not just clicking. Once you clicked on a pile, you had to wait for your pet to do it. The cat is very basic, so it took a while to do. In the meantime, I looked at the stage to see all the worlds you could go to. These worlds, like the last, were all blocked by a giant wall. But after looking outwards, I noticed a much higher production value this game had than the previous two. There were way more assets, variety, UI, and polish compared to them. I thought this game would be the worst one yet, but after accidentally bumping into a sign, I somehow got an epic. And from then on, things were much easier. I was getting a lot of money and was able to move on to the next world with surprising haste. The worlds aren't anything special, just retextures of each other, but the thought to have some variety helped it in the long run, I think. Eventually, while going on my merry way, I somehow got another pet. This time, it was a glitched dragon, which I thought looked pretty cool. If there is one thing I can give this game credit for, is effort. It seems like a lot of it was put into designing some of these pets. It is more of a waiting and walking simulator this time around, but I only had to wait for a few seconds at a time. And not to mention, collecting gold or gems is super satisfying. There were instances where I got a ton of gold, or a cash shower, and those were fun to get. As you can see, this game genuinely surprised me. I was not expecting it to be on this level. Wait, is this the first good game we've looked at today? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, the rest of me playing was just me on the grind. I was surprised at how fast you can get money, and once I realized how much I actually had, I just gave up and started zooming past the worlds. Some of them I didn't even collect any gold from. Again, the worlds here do add some variety to keep the game fresh. They are your basic grass, snow, and desert lands, but the simplicity helps it not become too overwhelming. Like I'd be overwhelmed by a pet simulator. Am I right, guys? I'm not funny. But after going through all the worlds, I finally made it to the volcano world. There was a surprising lack of volcanoes there. Anyways, I collected everything from the giant chest that lay before me. It was a very surreal moment, and I even got to do it twice. I then walked up to this strange cannon thingy, but I realized the recording had been going on for around 19 minutes at that point. And that's when I realized that this game is actually fun. Fun in an addicting way. I genuinely can see myself going back to the game in the future and having a good time. Sure, it was the most corporate so far, but for the experience alone, I gotta say it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? I was really interested in seeing how pet simulators have evolved over time. The second game we played was really just not that fun. I think I only ended up playing that one for around 8 minutes. That's small compared to the 15 I spent on the first one and the 19 on the last. Just goes to show you how much better those ones were. But I did say at the beginning of the video that there was a problem with all this. And that problem is just oversaturation. I looked at the top 3 or so games, so I could be missing out on a masterpiece, which I highly doubt. Even the best one I played wasn't anything too special, but there are probably an infinite number of these types of games on Roblox, along with obbies, tycoons, and tower defenses, whatever other stuff they have on the platform. I was going to make this video about them, but I decided sticking to one would help me out more. But if you would like to see a video about any of them, comment down below. Also, comment the keyword empty. If you do, I'll know you're a true fan. Anyways, thank you for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, here are some I think you might also like. See ya!